All right, welcome to this week's podcast installment. I'll get the intro out of the way, and then I'll talk about how my future podcast philosophy. And we're live. Hey. So I think the news that I get, I think, should primarily be domestic. And if there are requests to talk about world news, I'll talk about them. Because these are just backup things. These are just backup resources. And yeah, these are just backup resources. These news articles. Alright, here we go. First off, like always, we start with inquiries. First inquiry. Have I ever been in an altercation before? No. Would I ever get a mini car? Yeah. Yeah. Or, no. The person who told me about this had a different definition of mini car. It's one of those little toy joints that you drive when you're younger. Nah. Actually, yeah, I would get a mini car. Do I ever drink? Nope, never. Did I ever watch Big Time Rush? I think maybe... I'm sure I watched a few episodes here and there, but I don't remember them. What happened to mid-2010s electronic music? I don't know. I think... Well, I can only talk about music history through a hip-hop perspective. I feel like the emergence of trap music and just generic pop music just took over because it sounded nice. I don't know. I don't think people wanted to feel like they're in a rave all the time. That's what happened to mid-2010s electronic music. Would I ever get an afro? No. Can I freestyle over a whole jingle? Yeah, sure. Yeah. If there was one album rollout that I could have lived to see, what would it have been? Would I only... Well, the first part to that question I said To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. Would I only do To Pimp a Butterfly? No, probably not. We could go with... I never got to see early 2010s Drake in real time. So, let's say, if you're reading this, it's too late. Views. That sort of thing. Those are the immediate answers. Was the college dropout the first of its kind? I don't possess enough knowledge to answer that question as completely as I can. It definitely put Kanye West on the map, I think. I think it put Kanye West on the map, rather. I know that Kanye West is a pioneer of the soul chipmunk sample type things, and perhaps it started with the college dropout, so in that respect, it's the first of its kind to really popularize those chipmunk soul samples, sure. Would I go to a concert to see 2016 Drake? Nah. Whose discography would I like to revisit from scratch with no prior knowledge of it? At the time this person asked me, it was Kendrick Lamar, but now, Tyler, the Creator, I guess. He just dropped a little album mini thing today. Yeah. Would I eat a burger with ashes? I don't really know the context of this. I remember, I think at the time, this person told me, oh, McDonald's puts, or something about putting ashes in a burger. No. Probably not, if I was conscious of it. What was the last news headline that surprised me? What did I say? Oh, that was actually in shock of? Oh, yeah, I remember. Bray Wyatt's passing. Bray Wyatt's passing in August of 2023. Because I saw his last match in real time. Well, almost in real time. It was on a pirated stream, but yeah. That was the last news headline that surprised me. Do I remember the Cinnamon Challenge? Did I do it? First off, yes. Second, no. Have I ever been to Canopy Lake Park? Yes, years ago. Have I used a squatting toilet? No. Did I use Instagram before videos were added? I can't remember. I don't think so. What do I think about the Big Beautiful Bill? I don't know. I don't know. Let's search that up right now. Let's answer these questions in real time. Big Beautiful Bill. President Trump's one big beautiful bill is now the law from White House. Okay. Oh, this is pretty short. The one big beautiful bill. Myth versus fact? Oh my gosh. What are we doing? Can I full screen this? Can I open this in a new tab? That's a little much. Alright, I'll just read this, but if there's some information I misinterpret, I'll look. Okay, July 4th. That was a Friday. Yep. Largest tax cut in history for middle and working class Americans. Bigger paychecks. Okay, no tax on tips, overtime, and Social Security. Modernizing air traffic control. Increasing child tax credit. Border wall. ICE and Border Patrol agents. Driving down energy costs. Tax deduction on auto loan. Protection from punitive double taxation. Trump accounts for American newborns. Restoring fiscal sanity by cutting $1.5 trillion in spending. Strengthening Medicaid. Golden Dome missile defense system. Where? Across the whole U.S.? Or in the metropolitan areas? Modernizing military to ensure it has the resources to be a ready lethal fighting force after 4 years of Biden-era weakness. Myth versus fact. Myth. This is just a tax break for billionaires. Okay. Alright, so here's the thing. The stuff that the White House proposes on this website sounds good on paper to the, let's say, the average American. But maybe people will find some caveats if they actually read the meat. This feels like a summary. This feels like a summary. If somebody cares to look into the legislation, but the person who asked me about this, what do I think about it? Sounds good on paper to the general American. That's what I think. And those are all the inquiries complete. Those are all the inquiries complete. Next. Mentions. Okay. Why did Apple switch to OS 26 to sync with the years, apparently? Let's find that out right now. Why did Apple switch to OS 26? This mentioned to sync with the years, apparently. The new system uses the upcoming year as the version number. Mac rumors. New number reflects 2025-2026 release season. Fair. 26. Fair. Okay. Yep. Next mention. The College Dropout would have been interesting. Would have been an interesting album rollout to follow. They say it changed hip hop. Same person also said, also would like to follow Drake's Views, Denzel Curry's Taboo, Childish Gambino's Awaken My Love. I agree, especially for Drake's Views and Denzel Curry's Taboo. Next, same person said, a concert during the Igor rollout would have been a great concert to go to. I have no doubt. Tyler, the creator, has a very artistic mind. I get it. It would have been a great concert to go to. Oh, that's not it. That was, there. Alright, next, inquiry. Japan megaquake. AP News? What is a megaquake and why Japan has issued an advisory? No, I'm good. This is a skim. Later. 7.1. Wait, what? This is 2024. Channel News Asia? Okay, sure. We'll look into Channel News Asia. Channel News Asia. More needs to be done for a possible megaquake. Quakes are hard to predict. A major jolt in the next 30 years. A lot of deaths, a lot of costly damages. Reducing deaths by 80% back in 2014. They issuing a preparedness plan. So far, the steps taken would only cut the toll by 20%. Recommending accelerated efforts. Prime Minister said that everybody should come together. The Nankai Trough. Okay. Megaquakes in the Nankai Trough have occurred every 100 to 200 years. Okay. Particular concern is a comic prophecy. Manga comic predicted a disaster. Reduced flights to Japan. Japan to Hong Kong. From Hong Kong to Japan. Decreased. Mainland China increased. South Korea decreased. According to Ryoichi Nomura, impossible to predict earthquakes. Public should take certain steps. Okay, that's the Japan megaquake. Next mention, rice is getting political in Japan. Rice is getting political in Japan? Time Magazine. Yeah. Shinjiro Koizumi. What, guys? Yeah. Ease domestic rice shortage. Lower grocery prices for urban consumer. Maintain support of rural rice farmers. Okay. The balancing act could determine the government's fate. You hate being liked? Why do you hate being liked, Toxic Gameplays? You gotta put an E in your name. Because the pedantic bully in me wants to say Gam plays. But yeah, we're talking about political rice in Japan because a buddy of mine mentioned this to me last week, and I'm just... The Tyler stuff is fire. I have listened to parts of it. It sounds like a fairly straightforward, quick album. Political rice. Expanding its coalition, push Japan into political turmoil. Drop it. Bags of rice dropped in price. Stark contrast from its predecessor's approach, which involved the gradual release of rice. The government artificially limits supply to indirectly ensure that rice prices don't fall too much. Farmers produce less rice over time. Many consumers have long been willing to pay premium in order to support domestic farmers. Koizumi successfully made the rice price a non-issue. Protect domestic rice, food security. Koizumi's move signals that the LDP is ready and willing to meet consumers' needs. Making him agricultural minister is a strategic political move. Got issues. Rice prices. Inflation is an issue in Japan, but it risks alienating Japan's rural voters. Associate professor at the University of Vienna says that Koizumi is an adversary of the cultural lobby. Every farmer in Japan is a member of the JA. The farm vote is a gamble. Koizumi try to convince Japanese rice farmers he's on their side. Questions whether it's in the interest of rice farmers. Attempts to level with farmers hasn't always hit home. Political power of the farm vote waned over years. Mukunoki says the farm vote still matters. How long is this article? The farm vote can make or break these races. Rural votes carry twice the weight of urban votes. Trump threatened Japan with a 25% tariff. Its government will have a runway of less than 2 weeks to try to forge a better deal with the U.S. Access to Japan's rice market is a sticking point in trade talks between the U.S. and Japan. Trump, in recent months, railed against Japan's rice protections. Trump... to show people how spoiled countries have become. Happiness makes you weak. Happiness makes you weak. I don't know how to respond to that. Are we talking about rice? Nah. Trump, trading partner with Japan, signaled the receptiveness to opening up Japan's rice market, previously politically taboo. The same Viennese professor, he's skeptical that Japan's government would be willing to liberalize its market to the extent... Okay. While consumers want lower prices, many don't make a direct connection between price drops and increased imports. Okay. Any move towards longer-term reform will likely be complicated and politically risky. Reform is becoming increasingly necessary. Underlying problem is structural. Another heat wave. More a crisis. All right, yeah, that's political rice in Japan. Those are all the mentions. Now, well, this is now the backup section of the podcast. If there's anything anybody wants to hear that's not super political or social, I'm all ears. You just got to riff with me. All right. Article from Pew from Jeffrey Gottfried, Eugenie Park, and Monica Anderson. Short reads, American support for school cell phone bans has ticked up since last year. As the new school year approaches and lawmakers across the country decide whether to enact cell phone bans in schools, American support for such bans is inching up. Today, 74% of U.S. adults say they would support banning middle and high school students from using cell phones during class, up from 68% last fall. Far fewer oppose classroom bans, and 7%... Do I have a BBC, a big bony cranium? I don't think I have a thick skull. Nah, I think I'm injury prone up here. I don't know how good my calcium intake is. Yeah. Yeah. You draw me on my head and I'll probably die. That's why my aspirations to be a professional wrestler went out the window, because just smaller things hurt me. So 7% are unsure according to a Pew Research Center survey conducted in June. Here's a graph. Support for all-day bans is also growing. More than 4 in 10 Americans back bans on student cell phone use during the entire school day, up from 36% last fall. Still, 46% of Americans oppose all-day bans. Another 10% are unsure. You wanted to be WWE? I can't remember. Well, I can't remember a time, or the time, that I started liking professional wrestling. But technically I've liked pro wrestling ever since I was a kid. I didn't get to watch it all the time, but I liked the aura, for lack of a better word, of professional wrestlers. And I thought it was cool, worked combat. But they get hurt a lot. So my aspirations went from pro wrestler to pro wrestling referee. That's cool. I want to sanction a WWE or AEW match. I think AEW has the best wrestling in the world. That's not a popular sentiment, or maybe it is. But yeah, I wanted to be like that at one point. Next, views by age. Majorities across all age groups now support banning cell phone use during class. That was not the case last year, when 45% of adults under 30 supported a ban. Over the past year, support particularly increased in this age group. Now, 57% of this group support a ban. This is still lower than support among those 50 and older, and 30 to 49. Support for all-day bans has grown across age groups since last year, though younger adults are less supportive than older people on this type of restriction too. White and Asian adults are more likely than Hispanic and Black adults to support cell phone bans in class. Additionally, 48% of white adults support all-day bans, roughly on par with the share of Asian adults, but higher than the shares of Hispanic and Black adults who agree. Most Republicans and Democrats, including independents who lean to either party, stand behind cell phone bans during class, with support somewhat higher among Republicans than Democrats. Republicans are more likely than Democrats to support banning cell phones during the entire school day. Support for each type of ban has grown since last year in both parties. We also asked Americans about how an all-day cell phone ban would impact middle and high schoolers. Majorities say banning cell phones during the entire school day would positively impact students' social skills, grades, and behavior in class. Much smaller shares say a ban would have a negative impact on each of these, and about 1 in 5 say it would have neither impact. Fewer Americans say an all-day ban would have a positive impact on students' physical safety. About a quarter say a ban would have a negative impact. Another 39% would say it would have neither impact. In 2024, we asked Americans why they support or oppose a cell phone ban in classrooms. Supporters largely said children would have fewer distractions and develop better social skills. Opponents emphasized parents' need to contact their children when necessary. White adults are the most likely to say a cell phone ban during the entire school day would improve students' social skills, grades, and classroom behavior. For example, 73% of white adults say an all-day ban would positively impact social skills, higher than the shares of black, Hispanic, and Asian adults who agree. Views are similar across racial and ethnic groups when it comes to impacts on students' physical safety. Adults under 30 tend to be less likely than older people to say an all-day cell phone ban would positively impact students in these areas. For instance, 26% of those ages 26% of those ages 18 to 29 say a ban would improve students' physical safety, compared with 42% of those 50 and older. The pattern is similar on the other three items we asked about. Republicans are somewhat more likely than Democrats to say an all-day cell phone ban would positively impact students across all four areas. For example, 71% of Republicans and 62% of Democrats say a ban would have a positive impact on students' grades. Americans are slightly more worried about the government being too lax than too strict when regulating cell phone use in schools. Overall, 36% are more concerned that state and local governments won't go far enough in their regulations, while 29% are more concerned that they might go too far. Another 35% are unsure. Younger adults are particularly concerned about government going too far in regulating cell phone use in schools, with 46% holding this view. By comparison, no more than 3 in 10 adults in older age groups share this concern. Instead, older people are more likely to express concern that governments will not go far enough. Black adults are the most likely to be more concerned that governments will go too far. About 4 in 10 say this, compared with fewer Hispanic, white, and Asian adults. In turn, white, Hispanic, and especially Asian adults are more likely to express concern that governments will not go far enough. Democrats are more likely than Republicans to worry that state and local governments will go too far in their regulations. Republicans are more concerned that governments will be too lax. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Pew. That's the Pew article. I'm 27 minutes in. We got time for more. Next. Get a drink. Let me just hydrate. Alright, next. From NPR, Yuki Noguchi. Teens are trying to bulk up on protein supplements. What should parents watch for? This is published at 5 a.m. Let's pull out Google Translate. Oh, shoot. Nope, not to substitute the podcast layout. Emiliano
Slesaransky.
Emilianos Lesaransky.
Emilianus Slezaransky.
Emiliano Slesaransky. Okay. Emiliano Slesaransky, 17, joined Santa Monica High School's football team as a freshman, and, at the urging of coaches and teammates, started hitting the gym whenever possible. In the morning, after school, and on the weekends. The people he met there would share the strategies for bulking up. They would take protein powders, other supplements like some people I know, take ashwagandha and maybe creatine, he says, citing popular energy and exercise-enhancing supplements. Emiliano started taking some of them too. But his dad, Eduardo Slesaransky, wanted to make sure his son's diet and attitude. You from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. yesterday, so now you're done. Okay, so you're done for today? 8 hours? That's were you a moderator for some subreddit? But his dad, Eduardo Slesaransky, wanted to make sure his son's diet and attitude remained balanced. My concern was the influence that social media has on these supplements and these kinds of things and the culture of bodybuilding in the gyms. Protein supplements are big on social media, where influencers are helped driving sales of protein bars, shakes, and powders. A poll of parents by the Mott Children's Hospital at the University of Michigan last fall found 40% of teens consumed some type of protein supplement in the past year. Teen boys were more likely, twice as likely, to consume protein every day, says Sarah Clark, a research scientist and co-director of the poll. Nah, bro, I went down a rabbit hole. Started with Latina, Asian, Pog, and ended with Tongan? That's a category? Alright, bro. That's a pretty deep rabbit hole. That's what, 2 hours per 2 hours per category? Shoot, man. I think you should get a VR headset, unless you already have one. Oh, man. Girls, she says, more often relied on supplements as meal replacements. What? Girls, she says, more often relied on supplements as meal replacements. And the inspiration to consume protein shakes, bars, or powders often came from coaches, peers, or influencers on social media. But Clark says parents were also among those promoting protein to their children. Also Ebony? Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I wonder if, as parents, Brona, the Tongan, but she looked like Moana did. Okay. You look like The Rock. Maui. Shoot. All right. I wonder if, as parents, we are recognizing how much messaging we have taken in about protein being good, she says. We've absorbed this messaging. That's the key to being healthy, she says, when in fact it is only one factor in a balanced, healthy diet. There is also such a thing as too much protein, says Abriana Kane?
Abriana Kane.
Abriana Kane, a pediatric dietitian with Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C. As a general rule, Kane tells teens and parents to gauge protein intake based on size, benchmarked at roughly 1 gram of protein a day per kilogram of body weight. For a 150-pound teen, that amounts to about 68 grams of protein per day, or the rough equivalent of a cup of cooked chicken, a cup of yogurt, and a cup of black beans. Okay, I have seen the fit. Let's just say it's just Jeff Nippard. He says that the upper limit of protein hasn't been found yet, I think. I don't know if that information is outdated. It might even increase from there based on their physical activity needs, she says. Kane says more than 100 grams a day can damage the kidneys and liver in the longer term. It can also cause stomach pain, as it did for one of her patients. They were eating protein supplements with all their meals and also with all their snacks, and they were having a lot of abdominal pain. The vast majority of teens, Kane says, already get enough protein in their diet without supplements. There are also concerns about the marketing of supplements. There's no quality control for these products, notes pediatrician and eating disorder expert Dr. Jason Nagata at the University of California, San Francisco. Supplements, including protein bars and powders, are not regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, so they're not tested, and their ingredients aren't verified. The Rock Fanny Pack pic? Oh, I know exactly that pic. Yeah, look at this dude. What the? This is Dwayne. Nah, this is cool. Sometimes I wish I had stuff at the ready, like pepper spray or a Swiss Army knife, even. Oh my gosh, Seth Rogen. The Rock being himself for Christmas. That's like Tito Ortiz being himself for Christmas. Tito Ortiz Halloween costume. Tito Ortiz, the type of person to be himself for Halloween. That's Tito Ortiz? That's not Tito Ortiz. The McGregors. How about that? Anyway, oh, not that. I think it's important for teens and parents to know that there isn't that kind of rigorous quality control, especially when you're getting mixtures of muscle-building supplements and products, he says. I would just be very cautious. Nagata advises researching, reading ingredient labels, and buying directly from known companies. Some products have been found to have contaminants such as heavy metals, bacteria, or chemicals, or adulterants not listed on the label. Separately, Nagata is concerned that the protein craze is contributing to the alarming increase in eating disorders among boys over the past 2 decades worldwide. He observes that over that time period, action figures like Batman and Superman are sold with bigger muscles, and pressures on ordinary teenagers to post attractive photos of themselves to be popular online have increased. The masculine body ideal has become increasingly large and muscular, and so more and more boys are trying to become muscular now than they have ever before, he says. Emiliano Slesaransky stopped using protein powders about a year ago, he says, largely because he started forgetting to take it. His father, Eduardo, says his son still looks very strong and fit, but is no longer fixated with bulking up for sports. He's focusing on getting into college. Cool. What's airtime right now? Superman looks like Brandon Fraser? Yeah, David Corenswet? This 6'4" powerhouse, David Corenswet? Reports say he put on 40 pounds for the role. Shout out David Corenswet. Oh. So I finished that article. Next is BBC. From Mike Wendling. David or Henry? I like Henry's look as Superman more than David. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't tell you about Superman himself, comparing the two Supermen. But based on look alone, Henry, I think, fits the bill more for me. I mean, David Corenswet versus Henry Cavill. Did someone say BBC? I did say that. It's got the Kingdom Come Superman joint, right? It's very interesting to me that we have to use the perimeter as the outline. Yeah, that's pretty cool. This is not a Superman with tights, right? Or is it? This looks more like classic Superman, though. This whole presentation, this looks more like classic Superman. Dude, everybody, I remember I went somewhere on Saturday, and some people I talked to said about the Superman aura farm in Dawn of Justice, I think. Where is it? Okay, what? Was that Man of Steel or Dawn of Justice? I don't remember. Remember, yeah, in Man of Superman saw the explosion and did nothing but aura farm. Oh yeah. At Capitol Hill, he's fast enough to detect it probably, but shoot, man. Yeah, yeah. I guess it's a weaker Superman. I do remember that. I passed it. This one? Yeah, this scene. What is it with Superman aura farming at unexpected moments? I think in canon, he's fast enough to do something. But he didn't. Okay. I'll continue with this, but bring up any Superman aura farming or whatever in chat. Lawyers for Harvard University sparred with the Trump administration in a Boston courtroom, with billions in U.S. government funding at stake for the Ivy League institution. The White House has frozen more than $2 billion in federal grants for the university, demanding changes to Harvard's hiring, admissions, and teaching practices to fight anti-Semitism and halt DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The Trump presidency has also moved to prevent the university from accessing a visa system that allows it to enroll foreign students. In response, the university filed lawsuits and is requesting summary judgment, a swift decision based on established facts without a full trial. Monday's hearing took place in the court of U.S. District Judge Allison Burroughs, who's already made several interim rulings in favor of Harvard in a separate lawsuit over the foreign student visa system. Although a ruling immediately after a one-day hearing is unlikely, Harvard lawyers have asked for a decision by the 3rd of September, the deadline the Trump administration has given to the university to wind up its financial obligations with regards to federal grants. Any ruling in the case is likely to be appealed and could end up before the U.S. Supreme Court. During the hearing, Harvard lawyer Stephen Lahotsky argued that the administration was trying to control the inner workings of the institution. A lawyer for the government, Michael Velchik, said that the university had violated an executive order signed by Trump directed at combating anti-Semitism. Harvard wants billions of dollars, and that is the only reason why we are here, Velchik said, according to local media reports. But Judge Burroughs said the government had provided no documentation, no procedure to suss out whether Harvard administrators have taken enough steps or haven't to combat anti-Semitism. The consequences of that in terms of constitutional law are staggering, the judge said. Tongan women are the new Latinas. She can do the hula dance on my meat. You retracted the message, but I read it already. Shoot, I should have. I should have waited. Tongan women are the new Latinas. All right. Well, what's the population of that country? Tongaloa? That's funny. Population 104,597 as of 2023. That's smaller than the city of Manchester, New Hampshire. Manchester is more populated than Tonga. Area, 288.8 square miles. Manchester, area. 34.94 square miles. What is that? McIntyre Ski Area. Aviation Museum of New Hampshire. Tours of... what? Okay, cool. Earlier in a briefing filed in June, Harvard's lawyers argued that the White House is in violation of the free speech provisions of the U.S. Constitution by infringing on the university's right to decide what to teach, to express certain views, and to petition the courts to defend itself. The university also argues that the administration has failed to follow rules about suspending federal funds and that its actions are punitive and bear no rational connection to the concerns they purport to address. Lawyers for the U.S. Justice Department responded by arguing in a filing that funding comes with explicit conditions requiring support of government policies. If universities fail to meet these conditions, the grants are subject to cancellation, government lawyers wrote. President Trump has suggested his actions against Harvard are part of a negotiating strategy, at one point saying, "I think we're probably going to settle with Harvard." In a statement, a White House spokesman said, "We are confident that Harvard will eventually come around and support the president's vision, and through good faith conversations and negotiations, a good deal is more than possible." The administration's push against Harvard is part of a broader effort to pressure elite Ivy League universities. I wasn't going to watch it, but then I saw a woman on Fresh and Fit. She had that... looked like 2 trash bags filled with jelly? Fresh and Fit, I mean, you know, that's... Fresh and Fit, and then those other podcasts with people, you know. 2 trash bags filled with jelly? That's a first for me. That's the first time I've ever heard somebody say that. Earlier this month, U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement said subpoenas to Harvard demanding information about international students, and President Trump previously suggested ending Harvard's tax-exempt status. In March, Columbia University in New York agreed to several administration demands, including banning face coverings at protests and reviewing admissions policies after the White House threatened to end $400 million in funding. However, the moves did not appear to fully appease the administration, and the U.S. Department of Education has since threatened to strip Columbia of its accreditation. Whoa. Is there more? I was going to read that, but this is... okay. What's our timing now? 47 minutes, 56 seconds. If this doesn't go to an hour, it doesn't go to an hour. We're just fulfilling the bare minimum here. All right, full screen webcam. Next on the itinerary, the TikTok 10 swipes tradition. All right. All right, first one. What does NGL mean? Not. Oops. Gonna lie. What is your hardest plat at the moment? At the moment? Well, I am technically juggling 3 trophy hunts. I look way healthier than I did in 2020? What do you mean? Rip the GOAT. Rip Kobe. Actually, you know what? Here's a question for all the ballers in chat. I saw a clip of... I forgot his name. But it was debating whether Kobe was a top 10 basketball player. And he said, no, I have him at number 11. I have him outside the top 10. And then he fired off in quick succession. It was LeBron, Jordan. My skin looked like a Croc skin purse. Well, I don't think I've done anything different. Well, maybe I have, but it might be some filter. Maybe my camera, which is an iPhone 7 Plus, isn't capturing the full fidelity. I saw I was working on SMB. I finished that. I finished I finished Super Meat Boy last January. and that took, I think, 141 hours of in-game time. I think it was July 2023 to January of 2024. My hardest plat at the moment, It Takes Two, Wuthering Waves, Demon Souls, and Call of Duty Vanguard. If we're talking hardest in terms of difficulty, actually, I think on all fronts, Wuthering Waves is my hardest platinum trophy at the moment. But I haven't even seen its full potential. That your abbreviations are killing me. Looked like an Amazon, and she was in her prime. She was in her Amazon Prime. That's a bar. Maybe I'll do that in the bar writing stream I'll do later today, because I haven't done. She had an OF for sure, but I wasn't gonna pay for it, so I went on Reddit. All right. Okay. Well, thank you for complimenting my health. But oh yeah. Speaking of the NBA top 5, top 10, right? This NBA pundit, I forgot his name, but he was debating top 10. He had Kobe outside the top 10 at number 11, and in quick succession, he said LeBron, Jordan, Tim Duncan. No, we have to watch the clip, or I'll play the clip, but I'm not gonna give audio because that's copyright. Let's see. Kobe top 10. Kobe top 10 debate. Yeah. What's his name? I'm happier. I'm consistent. Yeah, I will. I think. Thank you. Wait, hold on. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain. Oh, sorry. Bill Russell, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Shaquille O'Neal. Just like that, he said it. I don't know his name, though. But that was his top 10. What else? I'm reading this. I'm reading the chat. The chat is just in full screen. I was gonna do the TikTok top 10, but I'm riffing with chat until, well, not chat with you guys until we do an hour. Super Meat Boy Plat is insane. Yes, it is insane. I had the time to do it. I had the time and the mentality to do it. And the Super Meat Boy 3D is coming out soon? I don't know how soon. Oh, you guys are on different timing. I'm going to read that later, but... Plat Metal Gear Solid 3? I haven't played a Metal Gear Solid... I don't think I've played a Kojima game. I haven't played Metal Gear anything. And I haven't played Death Stranding. I want to play. Because Death Stranding 2 looks... It looks like Wonderland. This Kojima guy just puts some weird stuff. Plat Splinter Cell? Bro. That sounds hard. You know what? We'll look at that, actually. Uh-oh. Here's PSM profiles, yeah? Metal Gear? Splinter Cell? What? Tom Clancy Splinter Cell Conviction, excuse me. Oh, that's interesting. Splinter Cell Conviction was never released on PlayStation. That's interesting. I enjoy cheese pizza. Why'd you say that? Metal Gear Rising? Hey, I'm glad we brought some trophy hunters together in chat. Where's Metal Gear Rising? What's the trophy guide? 10 out of 10? 40 hours, but it's a 10 out of 10? That's interesting. No multiplayer trophies. If people are saying it's a 10 out of 10, we'll make it Big 10 Part 2. 191 to 200. I'll do Metal Gear Rising. What is Revengeance? Have you listened to Tyler's new album? Not completely. I listened to parts of it. Not completely. I will in a bit. Maybe. I don't know. It just came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere on a Monday. Tyler just drops on a Monday? That's crazy. Wait, hold on. Let me put that there so I can check my time limit. I mean, how a 10 out of 10? That's incredible. I think I will lose my mind on the Tyler album or Metal Gear Rising. I'll try Metal Gear Rising in due time if it's that hard, because I want challenges. I'm thinking Terraria, Ninja Gaiden 2. Isn't there a multiplayer trophy for that? Why does it say Ninja Gaiden Sigma? Ah. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black? I know there's probably... What the flip is a tag mission? Stop! How do I close that? I can't... Oh my gosh. To unlock this trophy, you need to complete all 35 team missions. Wait, I don't know. Games. Games. PSN profiles, we'll go back. Beat Metal Gear Solid 3 on European Extreme Difficulty. Metal Gear. Snake Eater? Whoa, what is this? I don't see a difficulty specific. MGS 3? Also, Dead Space 2 had a good hard plat as well. HD. Okay, I don't like how it gives me suggestions and not names. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Warning, this guide is not intended for the completion of Metal Gear Solid 3 on PlayStation 5. I don't see a European extreme difficulty. You did Wolf 2 and Super... Show us my plats? Is this updated? Easy plat, Robert Ludlum's The Bourne Conspiracy. Ah, shoot. I'm human! Guys. What's going on? I'm human, I'm not a robot. I'm working on Demon Souls right now. And there's so many, because I'm so stingy about uploading cloud saves and save scum and whatever. I decided to brute force all of it, and I have to do multiple playthroughs to get my desired something. This, you need pure white character tendency. No, right? Pure white world tendency, I think. You need pure white character tendency for this one. Wait, that's not true. This is not right. I got that trophy, didn't I? No, that is not true. That is true. Yep, I don't have all the magic spells. I need to kill another boss. Get rank of Foxhound? What the flip? I'm at an hour, but I'm here until people stop feeding me information. Metal Gear Solid 3. Earn the title of Foxhound. And 8.4% of people have that? It's crazy. Where is the... Some hardcore players. It reminds me of the Soulsborne trophies. Where is Foxhound? Show me. I can't find it. Am I weird? This trophy guide does not have that. Is this for the PS3? This is for the PS3. It's a different... What's the hardest trophy in Super Meat Boy? I mean, it really is no contest. I think Impossible Boy. It's no contest. You gotta complete the Light World equivalent. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Wait. Extreme or European Extreme? Pick Euro Extreme, as the only difference is your game will instantly be over if you get an alert, and you can't get an alert for this rank. It makes resetting... Oh, okay. Yeah. It makes resetting and practicing much easier, and you can't get an alert for this rank. Oh. Time under 5 hours. Pretty lax requirement. No continues, no alerts, under 10.5 life... Is this... Mein Leben? Is this a no-death run? Or can you... Zero to 25 saves? A lot of people say Wolfenstein 2 is not an SMB level of pain. I am one of those people. Wolfenstein 2 has a lot more room for error, in my opinion, than Super Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy, it's an ultra-tight level where if you touch a hazard, you have to restart your... Yeah. Impossible Boy is the hardest trophy in Super Meat Boy. And also, subsequently, the rarest trophy I have, besides the platinum. Did this go up or down? This is about to go down, because nobody plays DC Universe Online. I think when I got the platinum trophy for DC Universe Online, it was at 0.68 or something, 0.68%. And now it's among the 5 rarest trophies I have. It's the 5th rarest trophy I have, according to PSN profiles. But yeah, that Big 10 period of my trophy hunting career was kind of magical. I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, this is where it all started. This is when I bought this thing, this Elgato, and it allowed me to censor my streams to some extent. So you got Black Ops 3, you got GTA 5. I got Black Ops 3 for the rarity and the difficulty. Look at that, 0.8%. Is Wolfenstein 2 top 2 hardest no-death run other than Super Meat Boy? Considering that Wolfenstein 2 was the first no-death run type trophy I've ever... No, that's not true. No, technically, yeah. I would say Batman Arkham Origins would take that spot, but you could do a bit of a save exploit, and that's kind of how I did it. Batman Arkham Origins, where is it? I did I Am the Knight. Where is it? Where's I Am the Knight? Finish I Am the Knight mode. You start the game, it's like New Game Plus, but you have 1 life. And I did this when I was 10. I got this trophy when I was 10? Really? Because yeah. Yeah. Is that math right? March. That is so hard to believe. I got this trophy when I was 10? Okay. Alright. Because a few months after that, I would have turned 11. Yeah, I was 10 when I got technically my first no-death trophy. And this platinum trophy has been made impossible because flipping multiplayer. That bums me out so much. I wanted to get the platinum trophy for all the major Batman Arkham games, but nah. Those trophies screwed me over. Without Mein Leben, Wolfenstein 2 was cake. Yeah, generally. A Death Incarnate. Do I think Wolfenstein 2 is a 10 out of 10, or are they just saying things? If you... I think the scaling... I think they have the scaling, the difficulty scaling right in their heads, but if I were to make it as objective as possible, I would personally... I mean, if we're going to say Super Meat Boy and Wolfenstein 2 are both 10 out of 10s, sure. But I would differentiate Super Meat Boy as being way harder than Wolfenstein 2. This took me a month and 2 days. This took me 6 months and a week. But then again, I did complete this over winter break. But Wolfenstein 2, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10 difficulty. Super Meat Boy is a 10 out of 10 difficulty game, in my opinion. This, for me, is a 10 out of 10 difficulty game. And the trophy guy would say it. 100 hours, it unfortunately took me more than 100 hours to finish this. I think, yeah. Hardest trophy is Cotton Alley Dark World. Hello, Timothy Lalamantic with the quack. He hit me with the quack. We also have a junior trophy hunter in Timothy Lalamantic in chat. This is the hardest no-death trophy in the entire game. Complete this world without dying to unlock it. Yeah, this is a brutal trophy. I wish I could publicize my Wolfenstein 2 more rarest than Super Meat Boy. Let's see. Super Meat Boy has 1,321 platinum achievers. Wolfenstein 2 has how many? 2,531, according to PSN profiles. But I also heard that the reason why... I think on PlayStation, it's a 0.5% earn rate. But that's because some people did some wacky stuff with the saves on Super Meat Boy or something. I don't know. But that's Super Meat Boy. I mean, I could talk about this. I could talk about my trophy hunting journey all day. Because this is, by this point, more than 9 years of trophy hunting. 27th of June, 2016. What is Leisure Suit Larry? What the... Yeah, they do gotta do it legit. I'm still getting flack from one of my friends for not, What the... Rockstar? Leisure Suit Larry? This looks like shovelware. What the flip? Why is this a category? Oh! What the balls? This looks like shovelware. This looks like one of the speedrun trophies. This reminds me of Day of the Tentacle. The art reminds me of Day of the Tentacle. At least Super Meat Boy you can exit, LOL. If you know you're gonna die in Wolfenstein 2, one mistake can cost you. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that is true. Shoot, what else do I gotta... I mean, we could... Horror game platinum? I've thought about it as the Big 10, but the Big 10 was more difficulty and rarity instead of horror game. But horror game, we could do that just to... Because I hate horror games. Not because they're bad games, it's just I'm really jumpy. What would we do as a horror game platinum? Resident Evil survival horror? I mean, it's got to be the best of the best, right? We got to do one of these where... Why does Resident Evil 4 not have a platinum trophy? We could do Outlast. The Outlast Trials? Evil Within? Evil Inside? Pause. No, this is not. I don't like when PSN Profiles does this. Resident Evil 7? Hold up. And now back to a regularly scheduled program. The Lost Planet 2? What is Lost... Why did I say The Lost Planet 2? You're recommending a lot of PS3 games. I still have a PS3. It's at the bottom of the shelf here. A lot of plats I can go through. Let's see. Demon Souls, I'll probably play Demon Souls later today. Split Fiction is, in my opinion, a classic. I'm surprised that 1 in 3 trophy hunters... Well, no. The hardest part, in my opinion, is probably... Yeah, Split Fiction, if you haven't, please play Split Fiction. WWE 2K24, you know, because I'm a fan. Cold War. What the flip is Splatterhouse? This is old. Welcome to the Splatterhouse, Rico. What the flip? What are these ads? Machinarium? What is that? This one does not have a platinum trophy. But yeah, I mean... Yeah. This is history. This is a history. This is history right here. Honestly, I could go on and on. But, I mean, I can only talk about so much here. I can only talk about so much. I mean, if you guys got some other stuff, you know, shoot a question. But, yeah. Now back to our tradition, right? Back to tradition. TikTok 10 swipes challenge, where we went all over the place there. But TikTok 10 swipes challenge. Kobe edit. Swipe number 1. What the flip? Okay, this is crazy. This is swipe number 1. I did the impossible on the Super Meat Boy, yeah. Need that Crash 4? I did Crash 4. Platinum trophy number 25 or 95. Platinum trophy number 95. I got that in November of 2022. And then right after that I got Wolfenstein 2. Here's swipe number 1. That's tough. How's job hunting right now? I have found work as a professional sports bettor. Swipe number 1. Swipe number 2. That's a sponsor. It's Roblox. Doesn't count. Swipe number 2. Not interested. I'm not inviting no friends. This is annoying. I'm only gonna show this because this is just, I don't use TikTok outside of these things. But here, this is just to document the algorithm. This is ridiculous. 09? Why are we saying 09? Just say your age. You can't mess with an 09. Why are we saying years? There's so much variability in that whole 12-month period. In 09, just say your age, man. And 09 this year is what? 16? Can you just say you're 16? And also, no, what the flip? Stop. That's 2. Doesn't count. This is Marvel Rivals ad. Number 3. There's nothing to do in Maine? You're gonna be 24 soon? How soon? Congratulations. Number 4. Why are we doing this? Number 4, ask my wife how many likes to get a new bike. 20k likes, 1k comments, and a comment from Kawasaki. Was that number 3 or 4? Number so what are your plans for school for the little one here? I'm gonna say 4 because I don't remember. This is an ad, doesn't count. Number 4. Bro to bro. First one to die in World War III is. Number 5. Is this real? This doesn't count. I think we're on swipe number 5. But this is a TikTok live of some guy just sending $500 to a bunch of people. How is this possible? This is money laundering. Oh wait, he has. This is money laundering. I can't. Go live the way top consulting creators do. I don't care. Number 5. Wait, this is sponsored. That doesn't count. Number... Is this 5? Number 5? Number 6. Battery percentage, whatever. Number 7. Giannis Antetokounmpo, flipping. Number 7, sponsored. It's a crab. Number 7. Is this an ad? This is not an ad. Number 7. You haven't showered since 2016. Where do you take your first shower?
You have to shower with the first person that appears when you click on share, and then more.
You're funny. You're very funny for that. Number 8. Day 2, making the smoothest transition without AI. Oh, shoot. Number 9. This is live, doesn't count. It's just more per pyramid scheme. Number 9. Calling all white people that say the N-word. I'm not white, nor do I say the N-word. Number 10. Doesn't count. Ad for Fortnite's mobile game. Number 10. Happy Elmo. Have I not seen this? Oh my gosh. Whatever. I'm following everybody who follows me back because I don't care about this platform anymore. Yeah, whatever. Alright. That is that. Now, it's freestyle time. Let me pull up Paint. Here we go. It's free. Not Paint. Flipping Notepad. What? Oh. Okay. Alright. Paint. Missable trophies are a trophy hunter's nightmare. Trump got Harvard international students scared. What was the Pew article? Cell phone bans are popular among adults. When I have kids, we'll see the result. Done! Immortalized! Podcast. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.